So it's turn 103 and we're going to have a tactical turn. So I already played my turn and I undid everything, and I will go through all my movements. So last turn I lost vision of alcaras dromons, which I saw in the borders of Yamu and Quish. He has even more than I suspected, so that's very frightening. And I think I have to strike first and try to maximize my efficiency by preventing counterattacks through zone of control and stunning. So I favored promotions such as Grappler to stun and Fireship, which is even better in my book. Allows you to panic a ship and force it to move if it can, or to be stunned otherwise, but it doesn't come with the attack penalty of Grappler, so that's very good. These are my ships. I remembered this one at the very end of the turn, so there will be some stuff there. Also, unfortunately, last turn I bought the resources for Drummond and I forgot to put it in front, so that's a bit unfortunate there. I've been rushing Drummonds with Orthodoxy quite a bit and producing a few naturally in Samarkand as well, which produces Drummonds in 3 turns, I think, overall. I have a few archers that are just not quite in range. I can pelt one of his ships from here, and the other are not in range, so but we'll remedy to that if we can. My science has caught up quite nicely. Alcaraz is quite surprised that I'm able to keep up with his mass clerics and all that, but I do still have clerics and quite a few monastery myself and specialists. So I'll over a bit over that. Where is my science coming from at the moment? So actually I have an agent that is detrimental to my science, but my queen is still contributing significantly. She's 9 wisdom. Even in competitive mode, that's still a lot of wisdom. A lot of specialists essentially. So my city are quite some of my city are quite productive in terms of science. I don't think I completed even a single inquiry. Maybe one in Proftasia once. Let me check. Yeah, one. That's all I did. So not much. So things are heating up. Let's move to the tactical movement. I'll try to comment on the moves as I made them. So essentially, when I look at that, this I cannot do much about because it ignores zone of control. This pair is super frightening, especially this one, which has Fireship and Cleave and Coxswain. So it can route, and if it doesn't route, it will push or stun ships. These 2 tacticians I'd rather not attack because they will inflict counterattack damage. This one I cannot really control because it ignores zone of control. And yeah, this is unpleasant, but it's not the worst. This is high priority target because it's a Fireship, so it can stun mine or push mine. Especially I intend to maximize the use of zone of control to prevent him from moving any ships, and so that to make it so that in most cases he will be able to attack each of my ships with 1 attack or 2 attack, but not kill, crucially. So essentially get a free round of attack by being able to minimize his counterattack without losing ships. I cannot avoid that completely because he will have new Drummonds popping out, and there's one here which I will have to ignore, but that's what's happening here. So let's move to it. So I resolved a few events. I think I got a bit of civics, and I'm moving in. So yeah, I'm going to move this ship because as it is, I can only attack it with 3 of mine, and it's I can be maximum in range of 1 archer, and it's a tough customer, and I want to kill or stun him, and if possible kill, and that's the plan we'll get. So I attack and displace the ship, move my archer in range to inflict 2 damage, another archer, 1 more damage. This is cutting it real tight. This ship has eclair promotion, so it's plus 25% against generals, inflict cool damage, and this is my only coxswain ship that can rout. So if I'm killing a ship, it has to be this one that kills. That's 1 extra attack, and I need everything I can get because he has way more ships than me. So I have to give it to Alcaras, and he identified the priority on naval combat better than me. I had 3 triremes before he did, but he reached Dromons just in time, and then he put absolute priority on it, rushing Dromons in. He produced 1 in Wasset at least, in Yamu, in Kish, possibly in another city. Let me check. I don't know if it's developing yet. And yeah, pushing swordsman. I reached my own swords in two turns, so this is not as worrying. This one has a harbor on the main ocean and is producing ships as well now. So let's continue. So I moved this one in because essentially I wanted to try to zone of control. I replayed the fight like 3 times. And I think I have to try to block those ships. This is a high priority target, especially. I really need to do something about this one. Stun it if possible, so that's what I'm doing here with my own fire ship. Uncovering more ships. I think there are even more here in the fog, which I found to my displeasure. So let's have a look at the situation now. So I haven't attacked here, but this ship is already quite constrained in movement, not entirely, but quite a bit. This one cannot move at all, cannot swap position with this one, cannot swap position with this one. This is another fire ship, super frightening one with plus 25% damage. So I have to stun it at all costs. This one is a fire ship too, I have to stun it. Because if I don't, it can push my ship back and then my zone of control doesn't apply anymore. So I'm moving another ship here. This is my stun trireme. I moved it here to be able to stun this ship. I want to make good use of my trireme. It's still a stun, so it still works for that. And I want to minimize the amount of counterattack possible. This tile I could see. There are no other ships in range. There could be there, I guess, but I assume there wouldn't be. I hadn't quite seen those yet. So I move my trireme, stun this one. It doesn't apply zone of control anymore once it's stunned. So I can no strike at this one, if possible with a fire ship, but I think I'm all out of fire ships. I only have grapplers, so I'll have to go in with the grapplers. I have to stun this guy, absolutely. These ones I reviewed. This is quite bad, this is a fire ship, but the other one I can try to manage purely through zone of control. So I moved my stunner grappler and stunned this guy. So this whole pack cannot move, and you can see now the zone of control, well, not really there, is starting to lock in some of his ships. This one, I just said it was top priority because it's a fire ship, so it can displace mine and remove my zone of control and collapse my entire plan. So it's done now. So there's still some way to escape, but if I put a ship here, if I put a ship here, it's starting to become very hard for alcaras to move anything and to be able to counterattack. So, for instance, this ship can be attacked by this one. This one could come, but they are the only ones. Either it's not subject to Zoc, or there's only this tile. The two here are locked, and I have to prevent as much movement as I can. So this is the entire goal of the exercise. I'm moving my, I know I cannot stun all these ships, so I'm moving my tactician, so at least if he counter-attack, it will be, I have a single one. It will be super painful to attack. There are 3 possible attacks on this tile. You can see this ship is now completely controlled, because mine is here. I haven't attacked it yet, I don't know if I want to move it. It's slightly wasted here, because this ship isn't subject to zone of control, so I can't do anything about it anyway. But yeah, and I'm inflicting damage on the commander as much as I can. Yeah, I moved one more ship, strike one, around here. So you see, this ship cannot move. So it can strike here, but can't do anything else. So this ship can only be attacked by this one and this one at most, for the ones that are in contact. And those that I cannot control, so I will lose ships, and possibly my entire plan will collapse. But I give it my best. Yeah, I attacked the stunned one. I have to remove them to have hopefully a better time trying to control them next turn. So I moved this one finally. So to apply as much zone of control as I can. This one cannot move anymore, so it has a choice to strike at one of these two. This one cannot move, it has a choice to strike at one of these two. And that's the entire principle of what I'm doing here. I'm fighting in an inferior position numerically, so it's very tough. And on the sea, everything is about promotions and potentially generals. I am inferiorly promoted, but alcaras moved brazenly on my side of the map. It kept everything packed, which maximizes the value of my fire ships, maximizes what I can do with zone of control. That's why I moved back here, to make it hard to go around and paralyze everything I have. And also it would force him to get in range of my supporting archer, who are not huge damage, but can do, well, more damage is more damage, essentially. So I'm attacking, and I think this is almost the final position. Yeah, I finally attacked with the routing one. And I moved, what is this? I still have this ship, but did I forget about it or something? Yeah, I moved in here, so these ships will now be forced to attack my my trireme, if anything. And I attacked here. So they can't kill my trireme, but they won't move in because they are not coxswain, so they cannot route. And almost all his ships are paralyzed. This one I cannot do anything about, so he can strike wherever he pleases, essentially, because it's not subject to zone of control. This one is not subject to zone of control, but all the other ships that are around are subject to zone of control. So I don't think he can swap with this one, for instance, because this one is completely zogged. I don't think he can swap with this one. Oh, probably can. No, well, this one is in the zone of control of this one and would have to move to another time zone of control, so I don't think he can, but I'm not sure. So he could go around and kill a few of my ships, but hopefully he will have to pick and choose and will be able to kill only 1 or 2 ships. So the rest of my turn I'll put Dromons in protection in Para, Samarkand, Parsa. It's already done in Samarkand and Parsa. They're done in 3 turns, and I cannot really rush them, and if I'm rushing them it will be in Para because it has low protection. So this is 10 turns gained, this is 3 turns gained, so it's definitely not as valuable. Yeah, let me show. I spent all my bank getting these Dromons, so I'm making another choice after that. I adopted Trade League, so Trade League. So I considered autarky briefly to be able to make mounted units everywhere, but I don't want to pay the science upkeep. It's I'm still lagging behind in science, even if I'm holding up, but I'm barely holding up. But trade leagues allows me to sell resources from the same price as buying, so it doubled the price, the amount of money I can get by selling resources. So when I'm selling stone, I'll be twice as efficient as alcaras, and so I won't have to sell much, essentially. So that's why you're seeing in my bank, that's 200, 300 stone, and I have 2,000 money, so I can order one more Drummond here. I think that's what I was planning to do, because here I have to buy the entirety of, so it's not cheap, is what I meant. It's 1,500 money, but I know I have Drummond, so I don't think I can rush it, because I don't have the civics. So the next turns, I think I put councils everywhere, because I will need more civics. I will have a forum completing, I will have a bit of additional civics as well, but I want everything I can to get more Dromons, because I will still lose some. I tried to play this to the best of my ability, but it's super hard to compute everything, so I fully expect I will lose ships, and it's possible that alcaras will be able to unravel everything I did, because it really holds with not much. So so if he can remove the zone of control from one of my ships, for instance, well, fortunately he cannot quite kill with just these two, he will need all three. But this ship, same, he can attack with these three. So he can kill this one, he can kill this one, but I'm not sure he can kill both. Yeah, and this one is a tactician, so he's unpleasant to attack. He will inflict counter damage. These three are completely stunned and useless. This one is stunned and useless. This one can only attack here, cannot move. This one can only attack here, cannot move. He cannot quite kill this guy. This one can only attack here, cannot move. The ones that are not subject to zone of control are of course frightening, and this one can add some attack, so I will lose some ships. But I think I killed the only coxswain one that I could see, the only one that was able to route. These ones will probably be in range of 4th March. I didn't check the amount of training Alcaraz has, and I'm not sure if I can do that. He's pumping decrease for orders now, so we'll see about that. But there are 3 Dromons popping up next turn. He will have a lot of orders, that will not be the problem. But I hope that I will hold, losing 1 or 2 ships, and that I can press my advantage with even 1 additional Dromon and start routing. Essentially, that will be the goal. If I can make good use of my coxswain and I can deny him use of similar abilities, that will be good. So he can probably kill it, unfortunately. Yes, and he will. So these 2 units are almost enough to kill my my only routing ship, and with the help from this one, he will almost certainly do so. So we'll have to see about that. I'm playing the rest of my turn. I think it's mostly walker moves. I'm bringing a new marksman archer. This tile rather than this one, it's less protected, but it's outside of the vision of an agent, if there's one in Comis. I got my miner, so I know I have nicer borders. I settled this city, so I almost collapse entirely my naval borders now. Better late than never, I guess. And yeah, that's where we're going. More wood, more iron. And yeah, that's my turn. So it's less than ideal. I do have, let me check. I have 2 triremes. and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Romans, which is very low, and just this pack is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 Romans, if I'm counting correctly, and that's the 16th one, and there will be at least 3 more next turn. So trying to do as best as I can with what I have, and no doubt I will take a beating, but hopefully I can manage to inflict good damage, so we'll see about that. My cities are not coastal. This one is and this one are the only vulnerable ones. He is not about to attack cities anyway, but if he could have denied one of my legendary cities, that might have been a play. So yeah, there we are. Lots of actions. I think I could probably buy enough for another Drummond, but this city is only weak, so it's not like it's going to be able to rush even next turn, so I don't think there's any sense doing that just yet. And yeah, that's where we stand with my plus 78 order generation. That's Persia in a nutshell. Yeah, it's still good that I get some good legitimacy. I'm still up 95 for events along the game. A lot of that from my initial skimmer. I'd be curious to know how alcaras is doing on that front. With legitimacy, I mean. I have no doubt he won't have others issues. Clerics temples are insane. +2 Clerics temple with orthodoxy and revelation, I should say, which are both plus 0.5, so it makes temple be +1 order, and it's doubled for clerics, so it's enormous. It's OP, I would say. All right, so that's my turn. A lot of action. Things are heating up, and well, I'm afraid I'm probably losing this one in the end. But this was an interesting turn, and with like, a few more ships, could have done better. But yeah, of course, too late for that. So we'll see what happens, and maybe I can still do good things. Will depend very much how alcaras reacts. Unfortunately, I think I'm losing this one, and this is key to be able to kill actual units, because I will need to kill. I'll still take damage, and I cannot sustain that. So I need to get rid of as many units as I can, as quickly as I can, and that will be slow. So we'll see. See you soon.
We're back on turn 104. I moved some boats into position to attack, and currently have 19 boats and no legs. I had some forces down here last turn, as you saw in his attack, because he recorded and went up and attacked me. I think I do have numerical superiority, and I should be able to kill a bunch of his boats. So got 86 orders, because I rushed out a decree last turn so that I could have a double decree turn, because that's very valuable. 3 boats. One challenge here is we only really have one coxswain. It's this boat right here. So I'm going to need this in order to route through all his boats, and then I'm going to have to try to free out the situation. So let's dive into this turn here. Just dealing with econ, events, various things like that. Just advancing step by step here through the turn. Definitely buying some more Dromons for next turn. I just happen to have enough civics to be able to rush in 3 places. So I'm going to do that just to have 3 more Dromons. I think that should secure it. From there, I think I'm going to swap over to swords production, because I don't think I'm going to need any more Dromons after this, probably, or Brutus slightly, but just want to have that buffer. These 3 actually last turn turned the tide quite a bit here, and I can see he's building 1 here. So we're not quite over, but I think this is going to be a pretty devastating blow in terms of Dromon production. And so then I just swap over to swords production, and then since I have control of the Z's, I can pick off his units wherever they are, and he won't be able to get around. So yeah, yeah, so we will see here. So we are starting out. First thing we do, we force march one. I think that's actually not a force march. That's just a standard march. This one can move here. It'll attack. Then I pull in. So there's two. So the maneuvers promotion here lets you move when he ignores zone of control. This one right here, this one, and this one. So I have 3 ships with maneuvers. One of them is unfortunately stunned. It's my fault. I definitely should have spread out my ships a little bit more last turn. Before I didn't think a fire ship is going to be as horrible as it is. I have 4 ships that are stunned, which obviously would be a very different thing if I didn't have those 4 ships stunned because of fire ship. So probably leaving a couple gaps so that the ships can't be stunned would have been very, very good. Anyway, maneuvers lets you ignore zone of control. So very, very good promotion for that reason. And it's actually going to enable me to counterattack here because I can take these ships with maneuvers. So this ship can just ignore zone of control because it has maneuvers. It'll attack there, and then we're going to route with Coxswain, which is the routing promotion on ships. Ships are almost entirely all about ship combat is almost entirely all about promotions. The most important ones are the ones you see selected here. Coxswain, very good. Seaborne is just plus 20% strength. Strike is also very good. Fire ship is very, very good because it'll stun. It's like an elephant essentially. Bloodthirsty can be good since ships take melee damage every time they hit. Maneuver is very good because it enables movement, and Overwhelm gives you some cleave, which is pretty nice as well. So we'll attack with Coxswain, and now we're going to go through and bring some more ships up and attack some more. So these are over here getting moved over, and then I move one of attack through with Coxswain there, attack with this ship. This one has cleave, but I can't really put in position, and I don't think I actually need the cleave. Attack this one on promoted ship, and Coxswain there. I want it to end up on this tile, though he can always just move. He's going to kill that, unfortunately, but it's going to be enough. This guy moves over with a force march. That's all. My last force march, I only had 3 force marches. Fortunately, we're going to have rally next turn. It's so important to have the training for force march to be able to do this. Attack there, and then I pull out. So hilariously, this was a fire ship, so that bumped it over there. Doesn't really matter. We could have killed it anywhere because this ship is not locked in, and that ship finishes it off. Next, so I've got how many ships left? I've got 5. So this ship is stuck. It can't get out. This ship is not stuck because I freed it up. So this ship is also not stuck. There's a path out. But 2 of my ships, I think 3 of my ships are stuck. So this ship can't get out. This zone of control and this zone of control means this ship can only attack this ship. It can't do anything else. It's zone of controlled very beautifully by No Legs. This ship similarly, trapped, can't get out. There's no way to get out. So there's 2 ships that are trapped. This ship also trapped, can't get out. 3 ships that are trapped. And this ship is also trapped. So I need to free my trapped ships in order to get them. Fortunately, I can use, basically, if I kill this ship, that frees up this ship, and this ship. This ship can hit this ship, so I just need to bring my 2 ships that are free around to hit this one, and then I can clean that out, and that kills that. Now, these ships are free to move around because they're no longer zone controlled. You can always see the zone of control here with the zone of control overlay, like this. So you can see red essentially is where I cannot move freely, and orange is where I'm exerting zone of control. Red is where he's exerting zone of control. So this ship can, because it's moving out of a zone of control into a non-zone of control area, it can move freely. So you can always move out of a zone of control, but you can't move within red. So if I re-roll before that ship died and show you this overlay again here, you'll see that this ship can't move. This ship in the middle here, I'm going to lock this overlay. This ship in the middle can't move because it can't move from a red tile to a red tile. It can only move out of red if it's on. If it can only move if it's not moving into red. Or if it's in red, not moving into red, or if it's not in red, moving into red, or just outside of red entirely. So we kill that, clear that. Then I decided I want to kill this ship because it will. It's reachable by this ship that is here, and might as well kill it. Can't hurt to kill it. It's a strike. It's pretty dangerous. Move that around. Move that, and move that, and that is the last attack the drum on. So I killed a bunch of ships. I think we killed the 4 here, 1 here to free, and then 1 more here. So 6 ships killed. We lost 1 last turn. We have 19 ships. We're producing 3 more, so we'll be at 22 last turn. We'll definitely lose this one. Be at 21. He's got another ship here coming. Potentially could be producing here. We can't see what's going on here. I think it's actually super critical that I built this harbor to enable production ships out of that site. I don't know that. Yeah, I also think my wood econ is probably stronger than his right now. So even though I'm only at plus 139, plus 133, wood econ definitely something to keep in mind here. So then after that, shipwise, I think that's pretty much the turn. Then there's just a bunch of worker moves that I'm just going to quickly go through because I actually do have orders, and I'm prioritizing anything that gives me wood or specifically wood. Iron is also very good. So, and that ends the turn. So just advance through everything, and yeah, made sure to steal research at the start of the turn because we successfully did that. That's giving us quite a lot of science, 340. We've got 3 more drone ones coming out. We'll have should have the troop rally. So we should be able to clean this up a little bit here. And then once we have control of the seas, we'll be able to essentially station dromons everywhere we want and kill anything that pops out shipwise. So we will have undisputed sea control and then be able to basically just have a very long chain. We can either attack this with a flood of swordsmen and dromons coming in and attacking. Dromons actually do decent damage, 4 damage to pikemen on a hill, 7 damage. So like this is going to be pretty good. He's going to have to either get out. So yeah, that's about where we are, and we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 swordsmen, and we can easily produce much more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 troops there. Plus we have a bunch of Kushites as well. So 5, which we can build more of if need be. So he does, of course, have more troops here, and these can move up, but the terrain is actually really crappy. So we can take advantage of our ship mobility to attack him where he cannot unify his forces. So we will probably start anchoring some of the ships, maybe the ones that we're building. We'll see, in order to be able to start attacking. Definitely we'll want to anchor maybe here, 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 here. Potentially we can take this city if need be. Definitely want to get some more visibility, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this turn. I think it's a pretty powerful counterattack. Definitely not the end of the game by any means, but seizing control of the inland sea is going to be tremendous in terms of allowing me to have freedom of movement. And even if he pops out with 3 more ships, I'm going to have 20 ships against the few that he has left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 20 against 9. Those are pretty good numbers for proceeding. So probably going to swap these 3 all over to swordsman production next turn. Looks like the economy actually does support that, so that's great. And then we are just going to, attack with swords and Kushites. And yeah, he has a Kata Archer, so he finally did upgrade. But yeah, probably not too many of those. And yeah, we have pretty decent movement here. So, all right, that's this turn, and I presume No Lags may record or may not. We'll see if he feels there's not much interesting things to see here. We'll see, and then we'll check in for sure at turn 110. See you in a bit.
Turn 104, so that went about as bad as I feared. So he managed to unlock his units, and of course he didn't need much to do that with additional ships from the back, the one that existed and the 3 he produced. So I got decimated, lost 6 dromons. So I have to first prepare to lose the sea, because that's pretty much inevitable at this point. So thankfully my only coastal cities are Nishapur with only 2 tiles that can be attacked, this one which has 3 tiles, Aspadana, and that's it. So overwhelming Drummond's forces, him having control of the sea with 5 Drummonds or him having control of the sea with 15 Drummonds is pretty much the same. I could even potentially park a few units here, a few Dromons here, and force him to attack it. Well, he would have to attack into it and all that. So you can do some pillaging and all that shit, but that's about it. Not saying it's a good situation, but if a lot of his strength is tied in ships, and if he still continues to produce them, then maybe I can salvage on the land. It's pretty hard. These words were a big problem. There are a lot more of them now. He's still pushing swords elsewhere as well. But I'll be reaching cohorts next turn. I only have 2 warriors that I can upgrade, but I will be able to make my own swords soon, and that should help at least have the right unit to counter. Of course, he's pushing for cataphracts now, I can only guess. Let me check actually. Where do we stand? Yeah, horsemen. So he just got stirrups last turn, and he's pushing for cataphracts. So we'll have to see about that. I already have pikes, thankfully, so I'm not in the worst position to handle cataphracts. And I'll have to compete and go there myself as quickly as I can. He has a sizable advance with already stirrups, and yeah, +1 turn for cohort. I don't know how he's doing for science. Unfortunately, my awesome spymaster just died. I'll be replaying the turns through a redo, as I did. I already played what I wanted to do here. So essentially, the plan will be to move out of here. I will have to sacrifice the trireme, the stun trireme here, to remove the zone of control from this unit, and flee back my Dromons to be close to the coast, and try to inflict whatever damage I can. So probably, I think I killed only 2 ships. This one, which is almost dead already, and a few others, and I stun one in the middle to try to diminish the attack surface that he has. So let's do that. I started by assigning Spymaster. I stunned the ship here because I knew I would do that anyway. I'm shifting my archers back and forth to have as much firepower as I can close to the relevant coast. So finished the coxswain that had routed through most of my ships. Well, a lot of them anyway. And shooting this guy. So this one is somewhat higher priority because it's a fire ship. So this is my own fire ship, so higher priority, so I'll try to tuck him in the middle. He can go, of course, behind my ships and all that, but exposes to attacks from the land, which won't be very dangerous, but will still be unpleasant. Take out that one. Attack this one. Alright, do I take 3 ships? I think I do. So that's 3. And I'm stunning this one. So I'm diminishing the attack surface by keeping my ships like that. Of course, he can then coxswain and rout through them, but he will still have to expose his ships a bit more. I used a lot of orders, almost all my remaining orders, yes, to push out another Dromon next turn. I'll have 2 coming out naturally from Persia and Samarkand next turn. I will have to reinvest the civics to still research, but my heir is a spymaster now, so he's friendly, and I'm getting additional bonuses from him, so that's cool. And that's about it for my turn. I think I turned every city that is not producing, that is not in progress, in doing something into another round of council for civics to rush, training, and because I need a bit of training to upgrade my warriors to swords as well. And that's about it, so I think that's what's going on. This is the number of idle city diminishing. Yeah, council. What else did I do? Apprentice officer here. Still working a little bit on my my tech and all that. Miner here to grab the territory as planned, and I will need it because I won't be able to maintain presence with ships. Thankfully, I'll at long last, be done with collapsing my borders on the coast here. So that should help. And I'm buying orders to do. What did I buy orders for? I bought 2 orders for something pretty important. Oh yeah, to steal research. I think, yeah, that's what happened. I ended up with 0 orders and bought 2 to start the steel research mission. So Alcaras has plenty of cities. So that's 11, 15, 17. So I got a lot of science from stealing research. I have a few left on him now, I think. So 13, 15, no, 17 actually, we're on the same number. So, so yeah, stealing research and turn over 100 with 17 cities is a lot of science. 340 precisely. So, so yeah, that's sorry, that's where we are. So next turn my military cities will probably go back to producing units, namely swordsmen. I have enough iron for 4 swords in the bank and almost enough for 1 each turn. Of course, I'll probably need to buy other things as well, but yeah, I'll leave the Roman here. Probably rush it with civics if I can next turn. I cannot rush with orders in this city because it's not Zoroastrian. Zoroastrianism continued to spread, by the way, up to here, and in the south here, and to Tus as well. Not yet to Gordium and Nishapur. I think this turn it's spread to Spadana. Is that noted somewhere? No, I don't see it. Okay. So yeah, that's my turn. So it still has like overwhelming domination of the scene. So I'm not sure. I guess I snapped and decided to attack last turn because I could do the cool thing with Zone of Control. Of course, it's very, very fragile, as we could see, and I could already see that he would be able to kill a few units, and it unraveled the whole trap, essentially. So maybe I should have moved back around here with my ships. I have a small line. Well, for instance, if I have 3 ships here, each can only be attacked by at most 2 others, and something similar around here, and with range in its mast, maybe it wouldn't have moved in. And just keep my ship to snipe whatever anchoring it does or something like that. So so yeah, I'm not sure. That was probably most unwise from my part, but well, it did make him think a bit. I'm happy to report that Alcaraz couldn't move a thing, with the exception of the maneuvers one, I guess. So I at least computed what I was doing right. But yeah, in the end, it'll probably be a cute play, and will have cost me my fleet. So we'll see about that. Alright, see you guys next time.
Turn 105. We lost 3 ships. It's okay though. We will redo the turn. So basically here I'm just cleaning up, killing as many ships as I can, and then making sure the other ones can't escape by using Zone of Control. Not much to see here, just kind of quickly do that. I also want to set up anchors so that I can get more ships up and running. The only cute thing I did here was use cleave to try to get one of the ships slightly lower, which lets, I think, save me an attack. From here, we're going to move things forward. We've got lots of upgrading everything to swordsman. And then we're going to start triple swordsman production as well. And then bring stuff down into range so that we can pull stuff over. Pretty straightforward. And then just finish any city stuff. We're going for barding. Have decree up. Probably going to attack next turn. I attacked here because I got amphibious on this guy and might as well start. He actually has exactly enough to block everyone. So if I force one back, then I create a choke point, and it's going to be very hard for him to hold every single site. So would love to take the city, just because it's very hard for him to reinforce without ships. So these units are all very, very vulnerable. And he has one drum on here, but I can easily kill it. It's probably going to just sit in the city. So he gets at least 2 critical massive Dromons. But yeah, I think taking this city doesn't seem like a bad idea. And everything here is pretty vulnerable to my swords. So as you can see, they do very nice damage here. Yeah, so you can still stun with one of these Dromons, this one. But otherwise, these guys are all trapped. So, and yeah, this is why I wanted to seize control of the sea, because yeah, we're at 19 ships, and he's got down to 2, potentially 3 next turn. So should be able to clean those ships up. Decree turn after next landing there. This is where I miss having statesmen. Gonna hold the Kushites back because I don't want to deal with the pikes at the moment. We got a lot of swords. So 15, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12. Yeah, 15. All right, that's a pretty quick turn. Also took Holy War immediately. So looks like he's on 12 laws. Or no, he's on 9. I'm on 12. So I'm going for barding, presumably because I don't think he built that many more pikes if he was building everything with Dromons. And let's see if he can afford another Dromon. He cannot. He's missing 149. He's completely out of wood. So his pike production is also going to be limited once we kill it with our swords. So because I have C, he can't reinforce easily with these 2. Anything that anchors, I'm going to go kill, where I have pretty much free reign here to come along. And if he moves these out of position, then I can actually swoop in here with these guys. So, all right, that's it for this turn, and see you in a bit. Turn 106. All right, so he killed one of my Dromons with a bunch of attacks from all the stuff that's in range. You know, he's fortifying here. It's going to be really hard to break in. It's upgrading everything to swords, which isn't great to see. But these juicy cities appear to be largely undefended, and we have some water combat. Water connections and control of the seas at long last, which means we should be able to just ignore his army and go around and then take out these cities, which also tend to be where his majority production is. Like if I can take out this city, he's going to be pretty crippled. So this city would be amazing to kill and take out. This is probably his primary production city. So it's also where he's building Circus Maximus, which would be amazing for me to deny. So I kind of like the plan of taking out this city or this city. So to accomplish that, I'm going to kill his last 2 Dromons using some fun things with Cleave and Seaborn. Scout around. I know he produced a Dromon here last turn, which means he actually has wood this time. He's not, which means he's probably got one somewhere around here. So I'm going to try to poke with the scout and find it because I have my mobile scout here. So we will replay the turn. Definitely he's pacifying because I want to keep all my families friendly for the 10% combat bonus. Moving some things around here just to get these luxuries in place for that exact purpose. If I can get the salt up and running, then the riders will be happy and won't have to worry about the riders. And similarly, the lavender is less of an issue, but I'm actually starting a miner here so I can grab that salt to solve my rider happiness problems. Not really sure where the incense is anywhere on this map. I'm sure there's somewhere. I just have not found it anywhere. We're also going to kill those gulls so that they stop bothering us as we go over. Probably should have kept peace with them. We found his ship. We kill it. We start anchoring very aggressively. Kill his other 2 ships. And then try to move everything out of range. You see he can't quite hit it with anything. So basically use our control of the sea. And we bounce back since we saw that there. Use our control of the sea. And then start pulling swords. And Mass here, he doesn't really have anything great to deal with swords. So I can just rally all my swords around here, which I think will be outside his vision. And then pretty much that, we're going to bring this guy over and get the Kushites. Kushites have amazing movement as well. So we should be able to land here. Would love to deny the Circus Maximus, would love to attack Samarkand. It's going to be very hard for him to reinforce, especially if I can kill this city, which is currently producing Dromons, and this city. That would be incredibly valuable. And his forces are going to have a really hard time getting off. Like, these troops can't leave this island. They're on an island, and they can't leave. So there's nowhere they can go, which is not great for them. Actually, they can get off here because of this, so I could potentially block with a Dromon. But he's going to have some issues here very shortly, because I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 swords coming in and hitting these cities. And as far as I can tell, these cities do not have walls or anything like that. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any walls or anything. So I can't quite see. Don't want to put an agent in right now. But yeah, he's building walls here. But this was misdirection. I have no desire to take the city. The city's shit. Who cares? I want to kill the heart of his empire. So at least that's the current play. We'll see, of course, how he replies. But that's pretty much it. We now have complete control of the seas. We've killed all his boats. Even if he makes a boat here or here, we have enough boats in the area that we can kill them, and he's going to have a hard time. Actually, those boats are going to pop out, and we're just going to be able to block them in. Not sure, the boat will probably pop out here. We could kill right away. There's a limited number of places I can hide. I knew he had produced a boat because I saw the hostile drone on scene. Noticed there. And I also had seen this in with my agent there last turn. So I like the idea of taking this city. I think I should be able to. We'll game it out next turn, see whether it's this city or this city that falls first. Preferably this city. So yeah, let's... and denying Circus Maximus would be very, very nice. And the Museum is building somewhere. I forgot where. I think it's building here. So we could also potentially deny that as well. So denying 2 wonders with force is going to be pretty big. He can continue blinking here, but eventually we're just going to move everything out of range and keep an eye on his ships. Like, I have ship majority at this point, 18 water units, and he can only produce a couple at a time. If he tries doing something fancy over here, this terrain is just so terrible. It's going to be really hard for him to walk over. And my production cities are here. I'm going to have a lot of swords to deal with anything, and so you can't move everything out. This is going to be enough to do an invasion force. So we will see what happens next. We'll steal some research. So barding is also on the way. Barding will be great as far as I can tell. He doesn't have any bikes back here. So yeah, it's going to be great. So all right, that ends this turn.
Alright, so turn 107, small update post turn. Sorry for not recording the previous one. So Alcaras lunged for my last trireme. I have no idea how he saw it, because it was outside of my borders and everything. But I produced 4 Dromons synchronized. Well, my last Dromon, sorry. In Samarkand, Parsa, Para, and Nishapur. And I managed to, so here they are. I managed to kill 2 of his anchored ships. It's not anywhere near enough. He can still disembark and take Para this turn if he wants to. He's staging his swords around here. I don't have visibility anymore, but I had it during my turn. I think lingering vision from my previous ship maybe, and my scout that was here, I don't know. So I moved my scout, I forced march. So this is covered in swords. He's killing the last goals, I think, as he goes. So the goals are at war with me, but they just love me because because of their religion and because I'm fighting alcaras. So there's that. That's a funny one. I will try to keep tab, move out, move back in with my scout, something like that in the next turn. Cover the coast. I managed to finish one of his ships here. I had an opportunity to get more kills because I got a coxswain ship somewhere. Oh, I didn't pick the promotion. Yes, this one can still be promoted to coxswain. I could have promoted right out the gate because I have 2 elder officers, so my units get out with 100 XP for ships. In Persia, since my queen is equestrian, my cavalry gets out with 250. I'm letting the miner complete because the salt will be great to bring my equestrian, my rider family to friendly, well, at least to pleased. They like salt and they don't have it, and they have 5 cities, so that will be 100 opinion in itself. Should be good. I am mustering a bit of forces to retaliate. I'm hoping that he cannot crush all my longbows this turn. He can inflict some damage with his ships, but that's probably risky because he has to deal with my ships still, and they will take a bit of doing to kill. I hope 3 attacks per ship, maybe more, maybe less if he has very strongly promoted ones. The best promoted one is dead here. So yeah, I opted not to go coxswain because what I'm trying to do on the sea is to gain time, essentially. I have a few swords, one here and one here. So this is half posturing, half being able to exploit an opportunity if it comes. But really, I would need anchoring to be able to do something. Fortified a bit around here. This is still spiny, and we'll have him concerned. Hopefully, we'll invest in more Dromons next turn. And I switched my tech to. I originally opted to go for stirrups. But I'm going for ballistics now. I really need something to deal with. I don't know, there's around 10 swordsmen here. There are still a swarm of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on screen. 2 more popping next turn. A lot of Kushite cavalries. So I guess it's being selling stone hard. It's only 5 gold per stone at the moment. Buying iron. Buying a lot of iron. He's probably selling whatever food he has left now. I think he's given up on making more Kushites because my pikes probably deterred him. I would assume that's the reason. I don't know, of course. So yeah, I didn't rush by anything without us this turn. I could have rushed the walls, but I think if he strikes at the city, it falls this turn anyway, and spending civics and orders to have to rush a project that won't actually complete is no use. Hopefully I can retaliate, however, with my single own sword in the region, my longbows, which should be able to inflict some good damage still. And then route through those guys with my cataphract archers. I'll have 3 around next turn. I have a few more actually, but they are positioned here, which I kinda regret. But I needed to have maximum threat level around here. I now need 3 turns to join my borders on the sea again. When this miner complete, I'll get essentially all these tiles, even this one, and it will collapse the borders with Aspadana. I moved my troops out of Espadana to strike his ships and to occupy the coast. I managed to take an anchored ship here and one here, so he can now only disembark north of this walker, and not directly strike at core cities or my troops that are vulnerable on the coast. So we'll have to see how that goes. I moved the pike back in case there's more Kushite in the back, and of course with their insane movement, they can strike from very far away. So I have to be wary of that. The only saving grace with Kushite is that they don't rout, so at least they strike only once. Cataphract archers are not as mobile, but they can rout, so they offer me the opportunity to strike multiple times. So if I can damage enough units, and if I can route through them, I can get a lot of value of a few Cataphract archers. So Parsa will go back to them. Samarkand, I'm not too sure actually. I might produce longbows, I might produce something else. I don't even have a citadel here because I have no horses, and I opted to go for Trade League instead of autarky. So I'll be pumping moderate amounts of Cataphract archers because only Parsa will be working on them, and I don't know if I will be rushing very many, so we'll see about that. If Ormizad becomes, when it becomes strong, I should say, but it's 13 years at the current speed, so not too soon. It would get a citadel and make Cataphract archers as well. But yeah, there we are. A few swords will be coming up in a few turns. I am rich, so I can keep producing swords and things like that with my stone bank, my resource bank essentially, because I can sell it for a lot. But of course the issue is time and production. I'm loath to rush production in cities that can make Cataphract archers in 3 turns, but we'll see. I might have to. So there we go.